Hey, welcome back. I think I have a problem. Let's talk about this real quick. It's nothing. I find I look up stuff way too much, and then I'm like, oh, maybe I have a problem with buying stuff. Maybe I don't necessarily need. And I'm sure other people have the problem too. I'm talking specifically about these flash units for, cameras and stuff, obviously. Now, I didn't go over this one yet, but I went over the Amazon Basics flash, and it does well for just a manual flash. And if all you're doing is using it pretty much on camera or slightly off camera, it'll work well for that. But I'm getting a little annoyed when I try to do stuff to where I don't really have line of sight with these flashes, and if you're using these off camera, they need line of sight. So I'm having a little bit of an issue with that for some of the things that I'm doing. So I started looking around, and somehow I came across, and I didn't know this earlier, otherwise I would have purchased it earlier. And we're gonna go over these flashes later, but there's a particular set of flashes, some of you might know about it already, that you can, use the controller on camera and control the flashes, set the power output, set the zoom output on the flashes remotely, and I mean wirelessly, radio waves, not optically or IR or whatever these use. So that's kind of a big benefit, because then I can put this flash inside a big softbox or something like that, or I can put this flash behind something and it's gonna fire, and it's gonna fire 100 meters away, they say. We'll see. I'm gonna test it out for sure. So this leads me to options. Now it's a young Nuo flash. I mean, you're probably familiar with it. A lot of people use it, but I'm looking at the older style one where it's pretty much, there's no ETTL, which this flash does. This does ETTL, and that's nice and all that this does ETTL, meaning that it's going to meter through the camera and give a correct exposure, but these other flashes won't do that. You have to set everything manually, and for me that's fine. If I'm setting up my lights, I'm going to set it up manually anyways. When I set up my big studio lights, I'm setting stuff up manually anyways, so I'm used to that, and I'm perfectly happy with that. I did get this little cord for when I did want to get this off camera and not rely on holding it off camera and not accidentally covering up the sensor or something like that, so that I could just plop this on here, plop this guy on here, and now have this off camera. I can talk to it through the camera and shoot away just to get this flash off camera, just to kind of model the light a little bit. One, say like at a birthday party or something quick, impromptu, I always have this flash with me, and now I can easily carry this cord with me. So my point is, I tend to look stuff up a little too much and then buy stuff, and my way of reasoning this now is that if I buy these flashes now, which is really inexpensive when you think about it, I have to keep my promise and not pay for any school portraits. Therefore, I have to do all the school portraits, which is fine with me. I have no issues with that. So in the long run, I'm going to save quite a bit doing my own school portraits for my kids. I mean, that's 3 kids, and how many years of school? I don't know, 12 years of school, pretty much. School port. Even if you bought the smallest package every year, that's at least $30-$35 per kid per year. So almost $100 per year. Times 15 years, times 12 years, times 3, that's a lot of math. I can't do that. I might have to put that up afterwards. My point is, it's a lot of money. Not that I'm spending that nearly. I'm spending only like $150, but still, it's gonna allow me to do what I wanna do. It's gonna allow me to experiment more with these little speed lights. Just so you know, I've never really used speed lights in this manner. I've always used big studio lights in this manner to get my photographs. I mean, back then when I bought those, and I bought those used, there really wasn't a good speed light option to where you can get the same effect pretty much as with studio lights. So studio lights was the way to go, not these little tiny speed lights. So it's different. I mean, it's lighting's lighting. You set it up regardless of what it is, but it's a nice learning curve and experience for me to, how can I get the best system that's gonna work for me for these speed lights? So my point is, I don't know what my point was. I got something coming in the mail, and I can't wait for it to get here. That's why I'm talking about it today. So it's pretty much it, I think. I ramble way too much. You know what I mean? So I'm really confused on my point. I'm thinking about something else too. Because now if I'm going to have all these speed lights, I'm still going to utilize these. These are going to be used for maybe accent lights or background lights or something like that, to where I set it and I don't need to change the exposure. If I'm lighting the background, I don't need to change the exposure. If I'm lighting a person, I'm going to need to fiddle with the exposure a little bit, especially if they move or I move the lights or something like that. But the background's probably going to be lit pretty much the same no matter what within that shooting session. So anyways, expect to see more photography videos, definitely, because I love doing it. And expect to have more rambling in my videos. And expect that when the weather gets warmer, we're going outside and we're doing... It's the middle of April. I mean, the middle of April, and there is snow outside. We had an ice storm the other day. We had a small snowstorm the other day where everything was covered in snow again. And it's, 30-some degrees out. It's the middle of April. This winter's not going to end this year. I'm going nuts. I want to get outside and do stuff. I got projects I need to do. I got things I need to fix. I got things I need to build. I just don't want to go out in the cold right now. I'm tired of the cold. I'm staying in. Anyways, I'll see you on the next one.